What's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of the Cover 2 podcast. I'm your host, Lawson Turner, and I'm joined by my co-host today, Zach. Zach, we got some football to talk about.
Ready for it, man. Ready for it.
So, the NFL honors were last night, where we saw a lot of deserving, players. Lamar getting his MVP. We saw players like Chris McCaffrey get his, Offensive Player of the Year, which is well deserved. But TJ Watt getting snubbed was a travesty.
Yeah, I would agree. I would totally agree. I would say that I think the one thing that TJ Watt got snubbed for, and I hate to say it, I think that injury in the regular season, I think towards the end of the year is what snubbed him out of it. If he would have been healthy for the first playoff game, I think he would have got it. I think that's exactly why Myles Garrett got it over TJ.
Yeah.
I think TJ had a better year, 100%.
See, it's
and also defensive player of the year to me. I know it's taking it away, but I just think the more dominant player for the defense itself, I just think TJ Watt makes more of an impact.
I'm right there behind you. Like, the only thing for me is because this, it's a regular season award.
Yeah,
and
it is.
And TJ was like we all
Dude,
say
it wasn't even close. If you actually look at the statistics, it
like,
wasn't
oh my god, like there was. I'm still
That's
baffled.
the second time too. That's the second time. The first time that
was
that
Aaron Donald.
Yeah. Well, no, first time Myles Garrett got it.
No, this is Myles Garrett's first time. The only other time TJ got snubbed was when Aaron Donald won his third.
Right? Yeah, and Aaron Donald's stats weren't even that crazy that year, right?
Yeah, but he was getting like triple teams, so everyone was like,
that was the same. Was that the same year the Rams went to the Super Bowl?
Yeah, but that shouldn't matter. It's the vote's already in. I'm saying the voting is already in. So.
No, I get it, but I'm saying was that a year the Rams already went to the Super Bowl?
No, that was the year before because TJ won it that year. Because that was the year TJ had 22 sacks.
Oh yeah, 22 sacks. That was
the year before. Yeah, dude, this is his third year leading the league in sacks.
Yeah, I know.
It's kind of freaking gnarly.
How many sacks did Will Anderson end up with? Defensive Rookie of the Year.
I don't know off the top. Let me double check. I think he had 8, and I think Kobe. Yeah. Either he had like 7.5 or 8, because I know Kobe Turner led all rookies with 9.
9, yeah, that's what I was saying. I didn't know if it was like 8.5 or.
Yeah, and I know Kobe Turner had more tackles and sacks, but I just other than that, I mean, I didn't really have a problem with the honors. Did you have any other problems? I mean, I
personally think I was very happy to see Joe Flacco got comeback player of the year. I was happy about that, but I don't think Damar Hamlin deserved it, me personally.
Yeah.
But I will say Damar Hamlin, it's impressive for him to come back, but, at the end of the day, the comeback player of the year is not about, making it back on the football field, even though, something happens. It's about getting back to being top performing and being one of the best, or being at least at a high level, right? And Damar Hamlin played 4 snaps. So, he didn't play a lot of football this year. So I understand it was more of a different circumstance that he was going through. But at the end of the day, I think Joe Flacco proved it, coming from a different system, middle of the year, sitting on his couch, waiting for someone to pick him up, and just hit it perfectly and hit the ground running and was just absolutely lighting it up. Of course, I would think it would go to him.
I saw that
after just being cut from the Jets.
I saw that the actual the bylaws of the award, it's not like a stat award, it's more of like a perseverance award, which if you do it by the bylaws of it, I was perfectly fine if Damar Hamlin would have got it. I would have been no.
Totally get it. I don't think it's off stats either. I know it's not off stats either, but at the same time, Geno Smith had a perseverance award last year, and he was a top performer. He was a top 5 quarterback, right?
Yeah, so and the only thing he was coming back from was being ass.
Being ass, exactly. And my thing is, it's like for example, Adrian Peterson, right? Adrian Peterson blew out his knee against the Redskins and came back, got comeback player of the year and MVP.
Yeah.
It's just to me, he was the most valuable player on the Vikings because they went through 3 different quarterbacks.
Yeah, and
they had a receiver at quarterback at one point. So
some of these awards are really it depends on who you ask.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that whole, I'm sorry, Lamar should have won unanimous again. Josh Allen shouldn't have had one vote.
Oh the second I saw it got announced,
One
and
vote?
then
Who
when
did it?
I saw,
Who did it? I want to know who did it.
you
Who
know,
voted
I
one for
have
Josh Allen?
I have no idea. I don't know the name off the top. I'd have
I'm gonna
to.
fuck. I'm gonna say it's Dan Orlovsky.
You know what?
I'm calling out Dano.
Who voted for Josh? Yes, everyone. We're looking at it right now. Who voted Josh Allen for MVP? MVP voter reveals why. Hold on. Do I get a name? Aaron Shots? SCHAATZ. I don't know how to pronounce that. Shots sounds, nice, but the fact that he got one vote is kind of disgusting. Like a first place vote,
Would agree.
that's genuinely disgusting. Like it like there's only been two unanimous MVPs, and it was Lamar when he first won it a couple years ago, and when Brady won it in '07. And Lamar to have two unanimous MVPs would have been crazy,
Yep.
absolutely crazy. And all the other awards kind of fell in line with not how I thought, but I was surprised Jim Schwartz won Assistant of the Year. I was surprised Stefanski won Coach of the Year. But other than that, I don't have a gripe or anything like that against voters or who won or things like that.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now to dive into a more, not serious, but a more like a topic that is we got one more game left in the football season. We got one. And it's Super Bowl 58. Chiefs and Niners. This is going to be gnarly. The fact that we have two of like the last four teams, was this the best matchup? Some would say yes, talent wise. Some would say no, and it could have been Chiefs Lions. But I think that we got the two out of the four remaining. We got two best coaches. We have outstanding storylines out the wazoo that people have been talking about for the past 2 weeks. We got Patrick Mahomes going for or continuing his step in this dynasty. Right now, I think it's a mini dynasty. They win another one, you have to say it's a dynasty, but I think that if Mahomes wins this one, he's well on pace to be the GOAT.
I would say this, right? I think if he wins this one, it's definitely a dynasty.
Yeah.
Absolutely. It's hard to say that it's currently not, but he had a little bit of a gap. He let up some AFC guys get in between before he could get another one, right?
Yeah, it was the bro year in which he played,
Yep.
like bad in the second half. He was bad, and
Yep, for sure.
they blew an 18-point lead.
But if he wins this game, right,
Dog.
he gets his third one.
There's gonna be some big
Okay.
conversations.
But here's the thing: if he gets back to the Super Bowl next year and be the first team to three-peat, I don't see how you can't get him to be in the GOAT conversation then and there.
Oh,
at 4.
I think minimal. If he gets 4, that's my benchmark. Once he gets 4, then I think it's a real discussion.
Yeah, for sure.
Now, once again, Brady's still gonna have stats because Patrick hasn't played 20 years yet. Assuming he plays 15, 16, 18, his stats are going to
Patrick plays. If Patrick plays 15 years with barring not missing having major injuries, he'll pass him in 15, 16 years.
Yeah, because his Brady got off to such a slow start because his stats weren't great in his first 3 Super Bowls.
Imagine Dan Marino's longevity. Imagine Tom Brady having the longevity of Dan Marino's skill, or imagine John Elway. Imagine John Elway not losing his first 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah, it would be.
Imagine the conversation. You wouldn't even. You would immediately be like, all right, Joe Montana, John Elway. These guys were crazy at throwing the ball, right?
Gnarly.
I'm not saying Tom Brady's not, but again, if you watch quarterbacks throw the football, there's only about, I'd say, 4 or 5 guys that I would say are maybe not even that many, probably 4. I'd have probably Aaron Rodgers as the number 1 of all time.
Right.
I'd probably say Dan Marino would be second.
Right.
Patrick Mahomes would probably be three. I would say Patrick Mahomes can do more creative things than both of those combined, Dan Marino and Aaron Rodgers. But as perfect passers, I don't think Aaron Rodgers is touched. Not even with a
I
candle.
yeah,
I don't think it's close.
it's pretty.
Dan Marino, I think Dan Marino's accuracy beats everyone.
Yeah.
Right? I think it's more of a ball placement for him. Patrick Mahomes, the ability to do what he does with the ball, that makes him top three. Then John Elway. John Elway was a missile.
Yeah.
He had a flipping cannon, dude. The
And
amount of guys that talked about how when they would catch a ball from John Elway, their fingers would break.
Yeah. And like the biggest thing for me, like when I'm looking at these all-time great quarterbacks, like what's crazy, Mahomes is what 27,
I know.
28,
He's 27, I think.
and people got tired of New England. Well, New England was doing stuff off the field that we didn't like the cheating, the Spygate, the Deflategate, things like that. And I feel like the Chiefs' hatred and like there's already a stigma.
They're just envious of the wins.
Dog, like I'm a Steelers fan. I would kill to have Mahomes right now. Everyone
Yeah,
would.
dude, like
dog.
it's actually baffling to think how good it is to have that in the league, but it's also baffling how much the league or the people that like the league despise it, right?
You know what I think it is?
Crazy.
What I think it is? I think it's because we went from New England dominating for 20 years. There's no gap. It went from New England to the Chiefs instantaneously. I feel like if there was a gap, like let's say right when Brady
look at the NFC.
Like there is no like all
there's
year.
There's no real dominant team.
No, and even in the AFC this year, there was like yeah, you could say the Ravens were dominant because of how they dismantled good teams, but those good teams were in the AFC. I mean,
I will say the
NFC,
AFC teams are consistently in the playoffs. They are always performing. The Bengals would have made playoffs if they didn't if their quarterback wasn't injured.
Yeah,
they definitely need to draft no lineman this year. But besides that, the NFC, man, is just so wide open. It really is.
Like dog, we had the Detroit Lions up 17.5 in the NFC Championship. Like dog, what?
We had the Packers. We were all talking about how the Packers were. Did they f up with Jordan Love?
Yeah. And then they go out and they Goomba stomp the Cowboys.
Yeah.
And I talked to you before the season, off air, and I was like, am I crazy to think that the Cowboys are going to, represent the NFC in the Super Bowl? Because there were a lot of unknowns with we still didn't know how good Purdy was. Because he was okay, teams have tape, let's see how he is. He's still really good. He had an outstanding year. The Niners were really good. I think Detroit, everyone thought Detroit was going to be good. I didn't think anyone thought they were going to be an 11-win team, like an 11, 12-win team and, be the, they're what, the 2 seed? No, they're the 3 seed. They were the 3 seed because the Dallas got to, yeah. Like, it's one of those things where we can talk about talent and things like that, but with all of these teams, everyone has holes.
Yeah.
And it's about playing your best now. I told you in the division round, it's survive in advance.
Yeah, it is. You're totally right.
And I think that this matchup, talent wise, it's the best that we've got left.
Yeah. I
now,
would agree.
Joe Tooney was ruled out about 3 hours ago.
Yep.
He missed last week against the Ravens.
He did miss last week already against the Ravens. The Ravens are known for their D-line.
Right.
That was
and they led league in sacks
is great.
And they led league in sacks with 60. And once you hit 60, you're like, okay, that's a really
And they
talented...
did fine managing that, right?
Right.
Did fine managing that. Here's the thing, though, okay?
The Niners interior, they're...
Yeah. The Ravens defense played better than the Niners, but the Niners on paper should blow out the Ravens defense. I'm not saying that I think the Ravens back end is better than the 49ers back end, but I think the 49ers front end is better than the Ravens front end. Meaning, I think Roquan Smith is the second best Mike linebacker in the league behind Fred Warner. Okay?
Right.
I think Trad Greenlaw is probably a top 5.
Yeah.
Okay. Then I think Javon Hargrave, is it Eric Armstead?
Yeah.
And then Nick Bosa and Chase Young.
Like dog.
4 All-Pros.
And
One's a Super Bowl winner,
You're also
right?
who?
Or no, Javon Hargrave wasn't on there
No,
when they won.
he was on the Eagles last year,
True.
and before that he was with the Steelers.
Steelers, that's what it was. I couldn't remember.
Yeah, and it like
Why did the Steelers let
the no idea,
him?
no idea. I
I'm
have
about to say,
no
dude,
idea,
that's a crazy talent to let up, dude.
dude. We had. We'll get into the Steelers in another fucking video because that's
Yeah.
like that's like dog. It has like, but I'm happy
So
that
Joe Tooney, Joe Tooney being gone,
yeah,
right?
with Joe Tooney being
What is
gone,
that? What do you think that means for the Chiefs and how they manage the rotational pieces that the 49ers have? How do you think they're going to manage that? Because I don't think
it's
the
gonna be
Ravens have
tough.
better rotational pieces than the 49ers.
No, they don't because the Niners are deep.
Yeah, the Niners are deep.
Like they go 6, 7 pass rushers deep. So if the
Yeah.
Chiefs can get behind, if the Niners can get the Chiefs behind the chains, it's gonna be tough.
And then they randomly just send Chad Greenlaw on a blitz
No reason to at all.
or a spy. They're going to spy the hell out of Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah, they might genuinely say, okay, Fred, you got Kelsey, Chad, you got Mahomes. That's it. Those are your guys, and it's gonna be really like that's one of your matchups.
Isaiah Pacheco for over 37 passing or receiving yards. For sure.
Yeah, because like if they get behind the chains, it's going to be really interesting as to how the Chiefs operate from behind the chains. Because these 3 games that they just played, with it being the Dolphins and the Bills and the Ravens, they weren't really behind the chains at all.
Yeah.
So it's like if you're gonna give Mahomes 2nd and 5, 2nd and 6, like that's one of the things that Mahomes this year has proved. I don't need these gaudy numbers. Do you need me to manage the game and protect the ball?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm the best. I'm the best in the NFL to do that.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, like it's. I've never seen quarterback go from gunslinger that Mahomes was his first year starting to now he's like, oh, do you need me to throw for, you know, 210, 180, and just no turnovers? Play a clean game? Because like that first, I feel like a lot of the Mahomes still isn't. That's why like we have anointed, or a lot of people in like the media and things like that. They've anointed these other quarterbacks, like when him and Allen went toe to toe in the divisional round, and everyone's like, oh, Mahomes won A, Allen won B. It's like no, it's Mahomes, Grand Canyon, everybody else.
Yeah, I would agree. I mean, be careful saying that, man, because I have a feeling that CJ Stroud is going to give a nice run for Patrick Mahomes' throne.
I agree with you. The thing is, he's a rookie. And I understand that he was a rookie and he was awesome. But Mahomes has the chance to literally hold the best quarterback alive throne until he hangs those cleats up.
Let me ask you this. Let me
Yeah.
ask you this. How good was the AFC West when Mahomes came into the league?
Oh, I'm not saying he hasn't benefited from a middle of the pack division.
No. How good were they? When he was behind Alex Smith, his first year as a starter.
They were middle of the pack.
They weren't very good.
You
You
still
had the
had.
Broncos, who had Brock Osweiler.
I'm listening.
What happened to Brock Osweiler?
Oh, I'm
You
not.
remember he got a big old deal too?
I'm
Brock
not.
Osweiler.
I'm not
You got
saying
the
the fact that
Raiders. Derek
right.
Carr was doing good, but that was also man got injured. Man got injured a lot. Then you also had he had one
Philip
good
Rivers
year,
last
by
year,
the
yeah,
way.
and then
Philip
with
Rivers
the
last
yeah.
year, and then Justin Herbert couldn't get anything going. They had one playoff run that was decent, and they got their thing kicked. So,
Right, and I'm not.
but what I'm no, you're not understanding what I'm saying.
Okay.
That comparison to C.J. Stroud, what does C.J. Stroud have?
I'm not saying
He has a
that
terrible division he plays in.
I agree with
What
you.
is the best thing a quarterback can do in the NFL as his first year?
Not turn the ball over
Reps.
and show. Yeah, well,
And what is the best thing you
reps,
can do
ball
to get
security, and
reps?
yeah, play.
In what? bad
Playing,
division.
yeah, playing better.
Get
Yeah.
confident, get the feel for it, the speed of the NFL, and I'm telling you, CJ Stroud found himself in a sweet spot, man. That's why, no offense to Bryce Young in the Panthers, and I know the Panthers, Josh McCown wanted CJ Stroud. I feel so bad the owner had to step in and say, no, we're getting Bryce Young. But the reason why CJ Stroud is in a better position, yes, the Jacksonville Jaguars are a good comp, and the Colts are decent. They did really well with an injury to their starting quarterback, but the Colts don't have any crazy defense. The Jaguars don't have a crazy defense, and the Titans aren't very good, and they can't figure out the quarterback. And I told you I believe in Will Levis. I think Will Levis is a starting quarterback, but they got Malik Willis the year before. They're really trying to work everything out. Honestly, I think they should trade Malik Willis for probably like a fifth or sixth, and then keep Will Levis. That's what I would do, and then just get Will Levis some O lineman, get him a running back, get him a receiver, get him a tight end that he can rely on. I think that's a great player, but at the end of the day, CJ Stroud has years. He has probably 2 or 3 years to solidify himself in that division, and the only person he has to worry about is the Jaguars. And the Jaguars have an offensive-minded head coach, an offensive scheme, and an offensive team. Their defense isn't very good, and that's his comp. Come on, man. He already beat him 1 year. Why can't he keep doing it?
I'm not saying that he's not the best, quarterback in his division, but I think that, like, this, there are levels to it.
The Prince.
There's,
Do you think the Prince was promised?
I think that for everyone that has sold stock on Trevor Lawrence, buy up,
Yeah.
buy it, buy
Fair,
it now,
fair,
buy
fair.
it now, because it's low, because they had a horrible year by Jag
Last 8
standards.
games.
Yeah, they were piss poor.
Yeah, but they were very good in the beginning.
They were. Don't fuck with the towel. Because the record after the Steelers game, and they were disrespecting the
Yeah,
towel.
yeah.
That's where it went down.
But they lost.
Yes, you take your win. Don't disrespect the towel. That's what it was. When when the players in the locker room were disrespecting the towels, that's where they're you can win, take your respect and win, and go on. Don't mess with the towel. Next, who do you think has the most to gain and most to lose in the Super Bowl?
It's a tough one, man.
There's a lot of good options.
Yeah, there's a lot of good options. Man, honestly, the most to gain, most to lose.
Mm.
Kadarius Toney.
If he plays,
Yeah,
he's not on the injury report.
Yeah, I had to stop myself. No,
Yeah.
man. Everyone's gonna lean towards Patrick because he's chasing the GOAT, right? And I think that's an easy one to say, and I wouldn't necessarily disagree with them. But just to get a little bit more deeper into the weeds, I think I'm gonna go Brock Purdy. I think Brock Purdy has the most to gain and the most to lose. The reason why
Eh,
is Patrick Mahomes is solidified as a top 5 quarterback of all time, right? Even though he's chasing after the GOAT, he still has his career, his past, his 2 rings, everything he could possibly want and more, right?
Mm.
Brock Purdy is still trying to prove himself, right?
Which is
And
crazy because he's about to start in the Super Bowl in his first year starting.
well, so for sure. And here's the thing, right? He one is going into the Super Bowl against the number 1 or second ranked defense, right?
Mm.
He has, in my opinion, the best defense in the league. My opinion.
All right.
He has the best defense in the league on his team. He also has the best offensive weapons you could possibly have.
Mm.
They have a very, very good offensive line on the left blind side. So that being said, all of his major things that he needs to be successful as a quarterback, he has A+ talent in every single thing.
Mm.
A good defense, good coaching, good blindside protection, good 1 and 2 receiver, good tight end, good running back. So for me, him coming into this game, one, he has to prove he's not Jimmy Garoppolo. That's it. He's proven that he can get you there, just like Jimmy G, but he's got to prove you that he can win it. If he can go against the Chiefs and beat the Chiefs, that's your quarterback. If he loses this game to the Chiefs, even if it's close, if he loses this game to the Chiefs, he's losing the ability to confirm that he is that guy, that he is him. That is my belief, and that's my whole belief because he's had a piss poor playoff performance. I don't care about his last drive against the Packers. I don't care about his comeback performance down 17 against the Lions. He got him there in both games. So, you want me to give you praise for when you dig yourself in a hole and then get yourself out of the hole? No. How about you just don't put yourself there to begin with?
I'm right there with you.
So I'm going to say Brock Purdy's got the most to gain and the most to lose because he could set himself an NFL royalty with a ring and prove all the doubters wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Then he could lose, and all the doubters would be made right, saying he's a game manager. He can't pull you in the biggest game.
Right. Now, to lean off of what you said, well, not really lean off of, but to like ponder and think about what you.
Lean, baby.
Oh, it's so
Threw
weird
you off, huh?
because yeah, when I think of most to gain, like you said, Mahomes, Andy Reid, Shanahan, because they're now putting themselves like if Reid wins this ring, it's his third, and his third with Patrick, and he enters the small class of coaches with 3 or more.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he narrows the he narrows the gap
What
where
coaches are
he
there?
is with more than 3.
Yeah.
Bill, Chuck Noll, Reed,
Both Bills. Is
yeah,
it both Bills? I thought it was both Bills. Am I wrong?
Bill who?
Parcells. Or does he only have 2?
I think he has 2.
Okay, because I know he has one. I think he has one for 2 different
Mm-hmm.
teams.
Yeah.
I didn't know if he had a third one.
Let me stat check that real quick.
John Gruden.
Yeah, imagine.
Jimmy Johnson only has 2, right?
Yeah. I thought about him, but I might know he's got 2.
Yeah, he got fired.
That was crazy. Um, there's Andy Reid, Belichick, yep. Chuck Noll, Bill Walsh, Joe Gibbs. That's your 5.
Oh, there was another Bill. Bill Walsh.
There you go. If Andy,
Bill.
Yeah, no, right. Bill's already done everything.
Kyle Shanahan.
Yeah, because he would get the monkey off his back.
He's got a big one.
Orangutan size. Like, he's got, like, massive. Like, another thing, while we're on head coaches, I don't hear a peep about Dan Quinn losing the Super Bowl. What do we hear? It's the offensive coordinator, Shanahan. That's what it is.
Yeah, but here's the thing, right? It's not like Dan Quinn. Yes, Dan Quinn gave up points on defense, right? But if you remember correctly, the Falcons' defense was not very good.
Right.
It was a decent defense, but it was very, very young. The offense was the number 1 offense in the league that year, MVP quarterback. So that was not the issue. The issue was being up that many points and like, hey, let's keep throwing. And they kept throwing, and look what happened. And it just kept going.
And just think, what was it?
That's Kyle Shanahan.
2 years ago, when the Rams made the Super Bowl, they were up 10 in the fourth, too?
Yep.
I don't know. There's something here with Shanahan and blowing leads. So if you were to come out here and win the Super Bowl, I think it'd be massive. But I think, I think the question is more, it depends on how everything falls out. Because if the Chiefs win, but it's just because Mahomes gets the ball last, I think that there's, and depending upon how Purdy plays, because we saw Purdy against Baltimore play like dog. He was so bad. Now, a couple of those passes that were
Baltimore defense is actually very good.
Yeah.
Like I think the Chiefs played very well,
yeah.
But I don't think the Chiefs have the personnel.
Yeah, not up front.
I don't think the secondary is the best.
They've played out of their wazoo this year.
Yeah, I agree. They played out of their wazoo, but as personnel, do you think they're that good as DBs?
I'd
give Eric Reed Or sorry, Justin Reed.
I think that like they have a
Give
all
me another
pro.
one.
I think Trent
L'Jarius Sneed and
Trent
Eric Seed is
McDuffie.
the only thing I can think of. I don't think he's that good. I think he's a good nickel corner, but I don't think he's that good.
Yeah, that's where he's good for
I
first
don't I
position.
don't
Yeah.
think he's like he's a Lenore to me.
Yeah, but I think but he's
I would
better.
rather have C.J. Gardner Johnson than McDuffie.
I don't know. I mean, it's tough
Who's done it
because
more
Chauncey
consistently?
play. This is Trent McDuffie's second year, and he made first team
But who,
All Pro.
who's done it more consistently? C.J. Gardner Johnson or McDuffie?
C.J. Gardner Johnson.
Yeah.
But okay, we're gonna agree to disagree on this one because this is Trent McDuffie's second year and he made first team All Pro. I'm not gonna have that discussion with a player who this is Chauncey Gardner Johnson's what fourth year, fifth year,
Fourth year.
fourth year.
Fourth year.
So he has double the experience.
And double the double the experience by 2 years, and he's been in two different systems and has performed at a high level in two different systems.
Who was the second system? Detroit last year
Eagles.
and
What do you mean? And
Eagles and the Lions team that he was heard of for most of the year and just got activated in the playoffs.
what did he do in the playoffs?
He had one good pick. What has Trent McDuffie done all year?
Dude. Okay. You're okay. First off, you're giving him an All Pro. First off, he got an All Pro vote, and
No,
he's a
he was
nickel
first.
corner.
No, he was first team All Pro. So out of
First team
all
All Pro at a nickel corner.
out of all the nickel cornerbacks,
On a nickel corner. That
I
doesn't mean anything to me. That doesn't mean anything. So in your scheme, you work well. That doesn't mean that you're a personnel set that I can move you to another team and you do the exact same thing. Period.
I'm
Look
just
what happened to
basically-
fucking DJ Reed.
I
Look what happened to DJ Reed. Look.
I agree with
Look
you.
what happened. Well, he was at the Seahawks, fucking top 2 nickel corner. Goes to the Jets, he's not even a top 7.
I am not saying that if you unplug McDuffie here and then plug him in here, he's going to do the exact same thing. Yes, so
Spags is getting the most out of the Chiefs personnel. They're playing out of their mind.
I
They
understand.
played higher than what they're expected. Again, that's what I think you're getting from the Chiefs.
Right, and they were all really young, and they played what?
We're just not going to agree. We're just not going to agree.
You're right. We're not going to agree, and it's okay.
We're not going to agree. That's okay. We are a working relationship, everyone.
We're fine. I can't make him be right. There are many a times I want to smack him upside his goofy head, but you know what? It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah. C.J. Gardner Johnson better.
That's it. It's okay because Troy Polamalu is your safety's favorite safety. So one last question before it doesn't matter. His favorite safety is Troy Polamalu.
Who's my favorite safety?
Kim Chancellor. And you know what?
You actually think he's my favorite safety? That's crazy.
Who is that?
Sean Taylor.
Oh yeah.
Why do you think I had? Why do you think I wore that jersey?
Oh yeah. I was thinking your Seahawks fanhood would take over. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's always been Sean Taylor.
Yeah. But his favorite safety was Troy Polamalu. Anyways, last question.
Sean Taylor was there first.
Shh. Last.
And then Brian Dawkins.
Shh.
Troy Polamalu's favorite safety was freaking Sean Taylor.
Nuh-uh. Okay. Last question, and then we'll get out of here. If Purdy loses the Super Bowl, is there a scenario in which you see him out of San Fran?
No, I'm gonna. You mentioned it a few days ago, and I think you were accurate with it. No, not right now. Right? He's cheap. He's the only option you actually have with the roster you have, and how much you have to pay these guys next year. Are you keeping Chase Young?
Because I'm not paying Purdy. Because a lot of Chase Young.
Here's the thing, right?
Right.
Do you pay Chase Young, lose Armstead, or Armstead has one more year after this, right?
He's got one more year. Yeah.
Okay, never mind. So you pay Chase Young because they have like $57 million in cap space,
something like that.
Yeah. So you pay Chase Young, say a 2-year deal, right? They need a safety and a corner.
I
because
agree with you.
Deshaun Gibson is not going to be the guy to cut it for the rest for the tenure there, dude. So they're going to need a safety or another corner because Charvarius Ward's great, but your nickel corner Lenore can't do all that blitzing and all that coverage. And then I'm sorry, but Emery Thomas, I'd cut that man a year ago.
They have 37 million in cap
Yeah,
entering next year. Yeah, I think
you
Brock
go get
works.
C.J. Gardner Johnson.
That's funny. Um, I think that Brock Purdy is there regardless, win or lose this Super Bowl, due to the fact that, like you said, cheap,
How much are they
and
paying him?
he like 800,000.
After California tax, that's about 400K.
I just like, you can't beat the fact
I
that
bet you, if he wins the Super Bowl, that Nick Bosa, Christian McCaffrey, and Debo Samuel will 100% give him a paycheck.
they'll do something with him.
Do they do the same thing in the NFL that they do with the NHL? When you win it, you get a ring, but you also get a check.
I don't know if you get a check. I know you get, like a ring and things like that, but I don't think you get a check.
But you get a check for like the Pro Bowl game then, huh?
Yeah, and
That's stupid.
yeah, that's like their game check. So like, yeah, you get your game check, and then you get like your rings and stuff like that for the Super Bowl, but you don't get like a bonus check on top of it.
But the refs do.
Well, yeah, because it's their that's their game check.
No, the refs get a game check for the Super Bowl and a bonus. They
Oh,
get bonuses for playing in the playoffs.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, they do. They've always gotten that.
Well, that's interesting.
Get me on target with a ref conversation. That video I sent you with the ref talking to Michael Jordan. I didn't see it, Michael.
Yeah.
I didn't see it.
Oh,
But tee it up.
Yeah, but you said you,
You said it. I'll call it.
I
Michael,
didn't.
I'll call it. Tell me right now.
That's funny. All right, guys.
You'll never see LeBron get that. Oh, we're going on a different topic. My bad, guys.
We'll do basketball at a later date and time. We got one more. We got one more game in the NFL, and then it's time to transition. Yep. Then it will transition to basketball in the coming weeks. Well, thanks everyone for watching. This has been a hilarious episode of the Cover 2 podcast with Lawson Turner and Pieces out, Zach.
Hey man, I appreciate you guys tuning in. We had a great time with you guys. I appreciate you guys dealing with the mayhem and the chaos. We look forward to hearing from you again. Enjoy yourselves. Drink a lot of beer. Have a great amount of food for the Super Bowl this weekend, and enjoy time with your family. We'll catch you next time on the Cover 2 podcast.
Thank you guys for listening, and we will talk to you guys later.